What if I could find a digital gold, which was better gold than gold, something that is better than gold, but also a big tech monopoly? If the cash is dead money, and if our stock is viewed as dead money, we've got a choice between a fast death, a slow death. Here are my three criteria. I want it to be a better gold than gold. I want it to be a big tech monopoly, and I want no one else to appreciate it. I want it to be underappreciated. And that's what Bitcoin was.
Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy and a Bitcoin investor. In this video, Michael will share his decision-making process to invest in Bitcoin as a digital alternative to gold. He will answer some of the questions that many investors have, such as, why did he look for a digital alternative to gold in the first place? What were the criteria he used to assess Bitcoin, and how did it meet them better than any other asset? How did he compare Bitcoin to a paradigm shift, and what does it mean for money, property, and energy? What were the options he had as a company leader, and why did he decide to invest in Bitcoin? How did he overcome the skepticism and criticism from his peers in the market? So grab your coffee while Michael Saylor reveals his personal journey and his predictions on Bitcoin.
So I thought, well, what if I could find a digital gold, which was better gold than gold, something that is better than gold, but also a big tech monopoly? And here are my three criteria. I want it to be a better gold than gold. I want it to be a big tech monopoly, and I want no one else to appreciate it. I want it to be underappreciated. And that's what Bitcoin was in the second quarter of 2020. No one thought it was an institutional asset. Even though Amazon stock had doubled in the second quarter, Bitcoin was trading about the same as it had been trading in 2018 or 2019. It got up to 10,000, it had smashed down to 4,000, it was back at 10,000. So I looked at it and I said, well, based on all the information, you would think that a digital property network or a global digital money network is more valuable, knowing that people are losing confidence in currencies, losing confidence in central banks, losing confidence in governments, and this is a non-sovereign, open, decentralized system.
Michael Saylor explains why he decided to invest in Bitcoin as a digital alternative to gold. He describes the criteria he used to evaluate Bitcoin and how it met them better than any other asset. Michael Saylor says Bitcoin is the most powerful force in the world and said that it will transform every industry and institution in the next decade.
Bitcoin represents a paradigm shift. It's the digital transformation of money, property, and energy. And paradigm shifts are so profound that you're staring at them and you don't realize they took place because your worldview is constructed based upon a bunch of assumptions that you've always taken for granted. And so what Thomas Kuhn says in the structure of scientific revolutions and what we study at MIT is there's only two circumstances under which people willingly undergo a paradigm shift. And one way is you wait for the old guard to die. And the millennials they get it because they're different. And Einstein, said God does not play dice with the universe. Einstein never liked quantum theory. You could be a brilliant person, but you won't embrace the paradigm shift while you're alive in the absence of a crisis. The second way you get paradigm shift is a war. When there's a war and there are bombs dropping from above, you don't believe in atomic power, but then someone drops a nuclear weapon and the city evaporates, and all of a sudden you become a believer and you reassess your priorities. Even when it's 10 times better, what you have is a commercially successful venture. But for example, Warren Buffett never invested in Microsoft, and Warren Buffett never invested in Amazon, right? Even though it's 10 times better, right? If you have enough money and enough power, you can ignore.
He also compares Bitcoin to a paradigm shift and how it changes the way people think about money, property, and energy. He shares the challenges he faced as a company leader and how he chose to take risks rather than accept decline. He concludes by saying that investing in Bitcoin was a strategic move for his company's survival and growth. Bitcoin prices will target $45,000 after reclaiming $43,000 as the market sentiment improves and the spot ETF launch. It also shows the technical indicators of Bitcoin, which support the bullish scenario.
Financial assets were having the best year ever. people had great years. I mean, a lot of these hedge fund managers, they had the best year of their life in 2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
And Main Street assets were having the worst year in 30 years. And I had a company with $500 million in cash that was dead money. It was idle. It was generating 0% interest. The Federal Reserve said, we're not going to raise interest rates for 4 years. The company's stock was in the tank. At one point, in essence, when we were going through this, our company was valued at $60 a share in cash and $60 a share in the software business. And that was like 1 times revenue. And so, I looked at the world and I said, if the cash is dead money and if our stock is viewed as dead money, we've got a choice between a fast death, a slow death, or we ride out of the castle and we take a risk. Okay, the fast death is I just give the $500 million back to the shareholders in a dividend or a buyback. Now, I knew that wasn't going to save the company because I'd been buying back the stock for the last 5 years. I bought $300 million worth of stock back or something. And the only thing that would happen would be the stock would go from $120 a share to $60 a share. And then all the stock options, the employees would be underwater. Then all the employees would get headhunted away by Amazon and Google and Facebook, and then we wouldn't be able to compete with Microsoft. And, we compete against a company which has more power than God, right? Microsoft, right? Every company on earth is their customer. They're more powerful than all but about a handful of countries on this earth. And they can do whatever they want, wrap it into their product, give it away for free if they want. So the challenge of giving up the capital was first we'd lose our financial capital, and then we'd lose our human capital, and then we'd have no reason to exist, and the company was going to zero. So notwithstanding whether you care whether a company lives or not, I didn't see it in the interest of my shareholders to watch the stock go to $60 a share and then watch us slide. We'd have to sell the company. So the second strategy is hold the cash, but the cash is, cash trash. Ray Dalio says that is generating 0% interest. And the money supply expanded by 20% a year for the past 2 years. You can see it in U.S. single-family homes, which shot up 40% in price. And so if the money's being devalued 20% a year and you're generating 0% interest, you got a negative real yield of minus 20%. And I did the math in my head, and I concluded that pretty much the $500 million in purchasing power would be cut into $250 million of purchasing power in 36 to 48 months. So that's a slow death. I could use cash to pay my employees, but ultimately we were sitting and mired, and so that doesn't work. And so in that situation, we decided we should do something transformational.
And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.